Tanager Place and the Meraki Institute of Learning proudly present the Rise, Wellness, and Resilience series, centered on resilient parenting, cultivating your child's resilience. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, hi, I'm Tanya, and this show is an 11-part series digging deep into the Rise framework, covering the 4 core pieces of Rise, Wellness, and Resilience. This includes, first, R, relationships, how relationships and experience influence a child's resilience. Secondly, I, indicators of well-being, how we integrate research-informed elements to enhance the well-being of children. Third, S, social-emotional development, how we can increase the emotional intelligence of children through everyday interactions. And lastly, E, enhancements, how we can interconnect the whole child to offer the greatest opportunity for wellness and resilience. When we cultivate a child's wellness and resilience, we offer a bright place for children to rise. Rise through difficulty, rise through struggle, rise with the means to manage, restore, and grow. So, as a wife, mother, aunt, sister, daughter, and friend to many parents, I am thankful you are joining on this learning journey with me. For today's topic, we are covering meaning and purpose as one of the indicators of well-being in the Rise, Wellness, and Resilience framework. Today, you'll be hearing from Opara Rice, CEO of Tanager Place. Welcome, Opara.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Opara, you're joining us today as a dad, a 2020 African-American museum history maker, and a Washington University Brown School Distinguished Alumni Awardee. That's a mouthful. What a good accomplishment. You have so much expertise as it relates to kids, families, and overall mental well-being. So tell me a little bit about meaning and purpose. What does this mean for parents who are looking to cultivate this in their children's lives?
Yeah, it's such an interesting concept, meaning and purpose, right? It's really the intangible parts of who we are. It's really what compromises our why, which is something that we don't talk that much about, but we probably should.
Yeah, so I hear you say the why, right? And this concept of an intangible word, but something that seems so important to someone's well-being. So tell me a little bit about what that why means, that's someone's heart and passion almost, their connection to living, I'm guessing?
Absolutely. Simon Sinek wrote a book, Start With Why, years ago, and it was like all the rave in business literature. But the reality is that speaks to each and every one of us. It speaks to, how we go about our daily lives. What do we spend our time doing? What do our young people spend their time doing? And so, but it's not something we stop and think about a little bit. We're so much in the process of always checking off a task or, trying to make sure we get everything done and juggle these crazy lives, but we don't stop and think about why are we doing the things we're doing? Are the things we're doing actually bringing us joy? Are the things that we're doing helping us feel more connected to our community, more connected to our families, more connected to ourselves? And so that why question is a pivotal question.
I'm guessing this changes over time. So maybe when my kids say, I want to be a firefighter, I want to be a teacher, they say that at a certain age because it makes them feel special, it makes them feel needed, they see those roles. But as they get older, they identify other roles. So tell me a little bit about how that meaning and purpose changes over time.
Yeah, it's kind of an amazing thing, right, to watch your kids, stop and see, because it starts so early where they see how different roles play out and the purpose of what those roles do in a community. So it's actually pretty impactful when you see that and watching them sort of like their brains just sort of like, just are firing as they think about kind of what they could be. And so the role playing and all those things kind of factor into it. The main thing also to remember is that our why changes over time. My why as a professional has absolutely changed since when I first started, right? And so it's okay to evolve as we evolve as people, and that happens with our young folks as well.
So the evolution of it is natural. That's a part of our development. But what doesn't change is trying to stay connected to our meaning and purpose. Because as a piece of the resilience and wellness framework, it's a vital piece to our well-being, is what I hear you say. So how do we help cultivate this in the lives of youth?
Yeah, that's one of the cool things that talking to young people give us, right? So you're stopping to have those conversations. You're exposing them to new things and having those dinner time conversations together. You're asking them what they think about stuff they're seeing on TV, or you're getting down and role playing with your kids too, and having fun with them. It happens through engagement. They also see what we do. They also see how we walk through our lives, right? And so to see what is our purpose, what is our meaning, right? So as CEO of Tanager Place, a good example is this was a few years ago. My sons I have 2 boys, and they were in my office, and I was doing something at a table in my office, and I turned around and they were playing CEO behind my desk, right? and so, which was very interesting, what they decided what a CEO is supposed to do. But it is for them finding kind of like what's the suit that they want to wear, what feels good to them. And so, wow, let's try on Dad's suit for a little bit and see what that's like. And so kids just naturally do that. It's that natural curiosity they have. And our role as parents is to sort of help foster that curiosity and allow them to experiment a little bit and also expose them to different things.
This makes me reflect on my own life as a child and the things that throughout my stages of development gave me some meaning and purpose. I may not have known that that's what it was back then, but I'm guessing that for you, this has evolved over your life as well. So tell me a little bit as a child and growing up, how you found that meaning and purpose and how that was cultivated in your life.
Yeah, for me, many people have heard my story. I did not have the best childhood on the planet, right? And so I had a pretty tough upbringing in Chicago, and my father was a drug addict, and my family went through some pretty tough times. But I always knew that my connection to people was always really strong. And so I had an Uncle Ralph, actually, who was a social worker, who sort of took me under his wing when things were really rough. And so just watching him be a social worker, watching him do youth groups, and I was like, I kind of like that stuff, right? And then understanding the context of what he was actually doing in his community. It was a community of Roseland in Chicago, which is a very tough community. And I thought, I really want to help kids. Like, I really think that's what I should do with my life. And that set me on this path. And so again, you find things and you evolve, but sometimes it just hits you, right? For me, it was like this moment of like, I think I want to be a social worker. Not necessarily I want to be like my Uncle Ralph. Like he dealt with different things that I didn't want to deal with in my career, but that sense of helping someone else just resonated with me, and it just connected with my spirit, and it was like, this is what I was meant to do. And so I found that pretty early on. And I think a lot of young people, as we have that connection to what makes us feel good, then you see that spark. And sometimes we don't know that spark is happening. And so as adults, it's also good for us to foster that spark. My Uncle Ralph knew he could see something, and he was right. And so it's been an amazing career, and I've loved every minute of it.
I love that, this sense of finding throughout your life journey your passion, the thing that pulls on your heartstring, the thing that sings to your soul, if you will. And I hear you talk about your boys and, hear them talk about a love for music and a love for tennis. So I'm guessing it has to not just do with one's career, but what really do you feel passionate about and what gives you a deeper sense of connection to this world? Because what I hear you say is that despite through the struggles of your life, that knowing that calling, knowing that passion, having hobbies or experiences that called to your meaning and purpose helped you stay grounded and working through the hard stuff of life.
Absolutely. Kept you
moving forward.
Life is going to throw you all kind of little obstacles, right, and curveballs. And when you find your meaning, when you find that sense of purpose, or you find that thing that brings you joy, it helps you overcome those hurdles. And I think that happens at an early age up through, when you're a senior. So it's finding that spark, finding that love.
I can see how having something you care deeply about, passions and interests, and feeling as though you're needed in this world can get you through those hard times. So much good information, Opara. When we come back, I want to dive deeper into how we cultivate the sense of meaning and purpose in the lives of our children. I'm excited to hear more.
Tanager Place is here for children, teens, young adults, and families as they navigate the many stressors of the world today. Tanager inspires, empowers, and heals by providing tools and support needed to navigate the hardships of life and overcome obstacles. Our expertise and specialty trainings offer a wide range of approaches, and we'll join alongside you to create solutions to enhance your wellness. We are here for you and your family, virtually or in person. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
Opar, we just learned about this concept of meaning and purpose, which felt kind of like a big concept, almost this intangible, like I don't exactly know how to identify what this means. But I walked away understanding the concept to be the things that fulfill us, the things that connect us to this world, the things that give us passion and energy, finding our life's meaning, if you will. So let's dive into how do we cultivate for kids? If we know that it helps create a sense of wellness when things get hard, if we know that it helps create this essence of resilience, how do we cultivate it? Because we want that for our kids.
Right. It's not an easy thing to do, right? And so I think it's about how do you find fulfillment in life. I had an opportunity to take my sons, and I'm always trying to expose them to different things. And so, recently the Just Mercy movie, the movie based off Brian Stevenson's work was out. And so we took our kids to go see it. And I remember being so emotional about that movie. My kids were emotional about that movie as we came out, and I just said to them, you make your life count. So then we had dinner and we talked about what that really meant. And so how you had this man who could have done anything in the world, but he decided to dedicate his life for injustice, and how amazing that is. But it really is about dedicating yourself to whatever is going to fulfill you as a person, that's going to make you feel connected and whole. And so my kids seem to get it, right away, because we talk about these things all the time. But for them, it is exactly that. It's like, what's going to make your life count? What is going to make you feel good when you leave a legacy? We talk about legacies a lot in my household because that's important to us. But those are those type of things. It's hard to cultivate. But what I say, it's not as difficult as we make it out to be, because I think young people are like clay, right? They want engagement. They want to talk. They want to bounce these ideas off you. They want to, they want to explore. And being open and listening to that allows for that cultivation, and just roll with it, right? You just let them express it, and understanding that what they may say at 11 is going to be different than probably what they say at 20. And that's okay, because we're not the same people we were, right? But it's important to listen and allow them that space to do it, but also using every circumstance as a teachable moment. And so for me, just watching that movie with them, it wasn't about what he did. It didn't say you have to come out and be a lawyer and fight for injustice. It's just about, hey, you see how he made his life count? That's what I want for you to do with yours. Make your life count. And they understood that message.
And I love that it doesn't have to be this huge act. I think a lot of times when we think about leaving a legacy, it's like, I have to be this famous person, or I have to make this huge world change. But what I hear you saying is that a big part of meaning and purpose is feeling like we matter in the world, that we can make a difference. A difference meaning like, I recycled today, and that can make a difference in a ripple effect of the larger world around me. So I'm guessing this doesn't have to be, like you said, being a lawyer. It can be writing, it could be music, it could be even quieter ways of influencing the world around you with the things that you care about. Is that true?
Absolutely. It is remarkable how we sometimes overlook the small things. And those things are what makes up a life, right? And so we sometimes can have this ideal that kids have to aspire to be the president or something, right? But no, sometimes it's okay to be a teacher, to be a social worker, to be a mechanic, and understanding if those things might give those people fulfillment and a sense of purpose, and God knows when we need those roles in our society too, and that's okay. And so I'm also very careful that, though we do have, demands on our kids, right, of what we expect for them, but it's not, their life journey is going to be their life journey. And it's more important that we cultivate a sense of joy and fulfillment and understanding of what they're trying to accomplish in life, more so than who they actually, end up being or what career they take on later on.
I love thinking about, no matter what your role is, it's connecting back to how you made a difference, how you influenced someone's life. And I heard you say mechanic. And what makes me think of that is, wow, today I was able to get someone back to a place with their vehicle that they could do their job, take their kids to school, that you can walk away from almost any role and see that you made a difference, either for a person or a system or an environment. and just constantly reminding yourself that what you do matters.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How do you think we help do this for young ones in a sense that it's individualistic for everyone? And so I heard you say exposing kids to experiences. I'm guessing it's almost like also acknowledging different roles in the world. Like if it is that I am driving away from a mechanic with my child saying, wow, that mechanic worked so hard. He had to know exactly what to do with an engine, and that took a lot of brain power. And now our car is fixed. So it's acknowledging the roles in which influence the world around us. Is that what it's about? Or
It is in a way. It's also helping young people, and this also goes for adults, sitting down and writing a list of, what do you aspire to be? What do you want to achieve in your life? How do you want to help others? Doing family volunteering is another piece. But also, I'm a big proponent of just listening. It reminds me of a conversation we had at dinner not so long ago. My oldest son, who's a freshman in high school, is on this career track. He is determined to be a marine biologist. Considering we've never really lived near a body of water, I was, a little taken aback by it, and I have my feelings. I was hoping he'd follow in the family business, but that's not to be. And so then I was like, well, wait a minute, let me step back and think about this kid, right? He loves the outdoors. He loves animals. He loves helping people. For him, this is like he is finding his journey, right, of what he wants to do and where he wants to have his impact on the world. We talk about climate change, like all kind of stuff came up at dinner, right? And so for him, I'm like, he's finding his purpose in life. He has already started to define what life is going to mean for him and how he's going to find fulfillment and joy. And so to me, that's kind of a cool thing to watch. And so he could go to college and decide, never mind, I want to be a banker. Okay, who knows? But what it is that he's understanding the career life to joy and fulfillment and being a person that's going to help the world in some way. And that's really, really cool to me. And so again, taking those opportunities over the dinner table. It's not some random script, conversation, but just have a conversation about careers, have a conversation about, what they love, and you'll be amazed at what comes out.
Yeah, I love the concept of just asking deeper questions. What are you interested in? What makes you love being outside? Just really asking those questions that help kids, what I hear you say is discover themselves, discover their passions, and being a parent, a caregiver, a grandparent that supports that stays curious and allows opportunities to engage in those things.
Absolutely.
Opara, these are great ideas and really a lot of tangible ways in which parents listening can feel connected to. You were right. In some ways, meaning and purpose does feel like this intangible ideal, but as we continue to explore it and what it means, I feel like it's something that I certainly can make part of my family routines and what my family pays attention to. Stay tuned, because when we return, we will learn about how to elicit kids' passions as a pathway to cultivating their meaning and purpose.
Tanager Place is here for children, teens, young adults, and families as they navigate the many stressors of the world today. Tanager inspires, empowers, and heals by providing tools and support needed to navigate the hardships of life and overcome obstacles. Our expertise and specialty trainings offer a wide range of approaches, and we'll join alongside you to create solutions to enhance your wellness. We are here for you and your family, virtually or in person. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
No matter the challenges you and your family face, Tanager Place is here for you. Our team of specialists in mental, emotional, behavioral, and social health want to join alongside you during these tough times. Tanager will offer the tools needed to inspire, empower, and heal while providing the support you need to build the strongest foundation for success and wellness. We'll meet you wherever you are in your journey and together define a path to reach your goals. Together we rise. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
Opara, we've learned a great deal about meaning and purpose, what it means, what we can do as parents to cultivate this. Now let's dive into this idea of connecting to our life passions, because it seems like it's such an important piece of meaning and purpose. So where does passion, feeling committed, feeling compelled to give something your all, where does that come from?
Yeah, I think passion is so important. It's really what connects us to our heart, right? It is what excites us. It's what puts sort of fuel in our tank, so to speak, right? It's one of those things that really helps us when life throws us a curveball to keep going. It is so cool to be around people who have that connection. You can feel it. It's like tangible, right? It's just this joy that comes across from them. Somebody who just helped a family, or a kid who had just overcome some obstacle, or just like solved a puzzle they've been trying, or people who, even if you go out and get coffee, somebody who's making sure your coffee is right and they have a smile on their face. Like, again, it's going back to those really small moments, but everything we do in life, we should want to connect back to our heart. And when you see people who are not connected to their heart, you also feel that too. And there's a sense of sadness there. And sometimes we feel like, we're just kind of on this road that we can't change. But in my belief anyway, I think we want to be more in tune with what our passion is, and helping our young people also find that connection as well. My younger son, for example, we're a tennis family, so we play a lot of tennis. My younger son hates tennis. Like, that is not his thing at all. But he has this passion for music. And so, you'll come around the corner, he's like singing a song, or you're in the car, and next you know, he's like literally every song that comes on, he's singing. And then he's on his guitar practicing, and then he's making beats. And I don't know what he will do in life, but there clearly is a connection to music to his heart, and we like sponsor, like we do whatever we can to continue to help cultivate that joy in him for music. It's not about a career, just because it brings him so much joy, and I think we have to do that for each other. And we don't spend enough time doing that for kids too. And just, again, it's not about you're gonna be the best musician, let's go start a band, let's cut a CD. No, it's just like, you love music, and it's great that you love music, and that for you, that calms your spirit and brings you joy. And so I think the more we can do to help young people find those things that also bring them joy and spark that passion, again, it could lead to something else in life, or it could not. But it still is important, because that's something we should all have and want to see in each other.
So really, that essence, that this passion illuminates my heart, right? It helps me rise during hard times. When I'm connected to those things, I feel more well. I can work through hard stuff and be more resilient, because I am connected to my heart's meaning and purpose and passion. Do you feel, Para, that passion helps someone find their meaning and purpose? Is it almost like the roadmap to our meaning and purpose?
I think it's a part. It's like one of those nuggets along the way, because if you don't feel, I don't think you can have one without the other. If you really feel connected to what your purpose in life is, you're going to have passion around what that purpose is going to be. And that's partly why some people feel so miserable sometimes, right? Is because they know they're not doing what really brings them joy. They know they're doing something that doesn't connect to their heart. And so it just feels sort of mundane and so rote. And so what we have to do is to help people find that connection, to help young people find that connection. I don't think it's impossible. I don't think that it's something that's unobtainable. I think we just don't talk about it a lot, or even just, maybe with this career you have to do one thing, but that doesn't mean you can't volunteer and do something that also brings you a great deal of joy too, and finding ways to fill your bucket. And we have to help each other, do that. And that's really, really critical.
One of the biggest things that I just heard you say, and it's just resonating so deep with me, is that it's not impossible, and it has to be intentional. And one of the things that I think about when I think of that is that we are so used to going through this world just checking the box, doing the tasks. I have to go to school today, I have to do my homework today. And we don't always connect it back to this essence of meaning and purpose, or my passions, that what we believe created successful children, if you will, is getting through all of the stages of life. But what I hear you saying is that oftentimes that can leave an adult for the first time in their life asking the question of, what's my heart passion?
Right.
After maybe they even went through college and picked a career where they never thought of this, because we weren't as intentional in cultivating this. So what are just one or two things that a parent, a caregiver, a trusted adult, a loved one can do to just connect a kid to this, so that they can start thinking about it at such a young age and hopefully fulfill then their life's purpose?
Absolutely. It's going back to what we said previously. Have a conversation. and like just sit down, no agenda, just to have a conversation about what that young person really loves, what really makes them happy, what are some of their favorite hobbies, what are some things that they do that just automatically lifts their spirit. You're gonna find a little bit of a nugget there that's probably gonna be where they end up later on in life too. I think it's really, really important that we engage young people and we engage each other. I agree that you have to expose kids to different things. It is very, very important. This is a big, big world, and it's more global and connected than it has ever been. And so making sure that there are, first of all, guardrails, so kids are seeing things that are appropriate, but also exposing them to different things. When you travel, when you go visit different places, just takes a different point, look at different points of view. I think that's also important. But I think it's an act of cultivation, active cultivation, and understanding that young people are not little adults. They're still developing, and to understand that and to allow that space for them to develop and allow that curiosity, that natural curiosity they have, to shine, and you foster that curiosity.
Almost also in the sense too of allowing them to gain insights from it. So when I see my kid maybe opening the door for a stranger, I could say, I see your eyes shine when you help someone else. That was so kind of you to open that door. Or just helping them throughout their life journey, showing them when their energy is lighter, when their heart's shining, when their soul feels a little lighter and brighter, if you will, and really paying attention and pointing that out to them so they can connect to that with a level of awareness that we certainly want to cultivate in kids.
Absolutely.
Oh, Para, thank you so much. I know I'm personally walking away with so much valuable information. My mind is thinking about dinner conversations and volunteering, looking at what my kids learn at school and asking them what they loved the most about it. Oh, Para, if there were one or two key takeaways that you wanted the listeners to walk away with, what would they be?
I would say, first of all, live your passion. Help foster that passion in young people. Make sure you are listening and cultivating that curiosity. I think that's really, really important. I'd also say for our adults who are listening, I know we're focused on kids, but also to you is that if you're doing something that doesn't speak to your heart, it's never too late to change. You don't want to spend time doing the things that bring you joy. This is a short life, right? We only get one go around at this thing, so do what actually brings you joy. If at some point in your life, if that's volunteering, if that's helping your community or helping your church, helping your school, whatever that may be, but please make sure you are doing things that you connect with, that connect to your heart, and live your life through passion. And I think you'll find that meaning and that purpose and that fulfillment will be amazing.
Thank you again so much for joining us today, Opara, and for sharing your expertise.
Thanks so much for having me.
Tanager Place is here for children, teens, young adults, and families as they navigate the many stressors of the world today. Tanager inspires, empowers, and heals by providing tools and support needed to navigate the hardships of life and overcome obstacles. Our expertise and specialty trainings offer a wide range of approaches, and we'll join alongside you to create solutions to enhance your wellness. We are here for you and your family, virtually or in person. Tanager Place, your child, our focus.
Thank you for being with us and taking time out of your day to learn alongside us in order to offer a bright place for the children in your lives to rise. Today's series brought to you by Tanager Place and the Meraki Institute of Learning. For more information, please visit our website at www.tanagerplace.org.